Welcome to a journey through the twisted landscape of human behavior. Today, we're going to explore a concept that will make you question everything you thought you knew about sanity. Are you ready? Let's begin. Picture this. You're walking down the street, minding your own business, when suddenly you see a man wearing a banana costume, tap dancing, and singing opera. Your first thought, that guy's nuts. But wait, what if there were 10 banana-clad opera singers? 100, 1,000. At what point does it stop being crazy and start being normal? That's the crux of our story today. The idea that crazy is just a numbers game. Get enough people on board with something utterly bonkers, and suddenly it's not so bonkers anymore. It's downright conventional. Now, you might be thinking, surely that can't be true. Some things are just objectively crazy, right? Oh, my sweet, innocent listener, allow me to shatter your worldview. Let's start with something seemingly innocuous: fashion. Cast your mind back to the halcyon days of office attire. Suits, ties, polished shoes, the works. Now imagine someone sauntering into the boardroom wearing a hoodie. Gasp, the horror, the scandal. Security would be called. Karen from HR would have a conniption, and the poor soul would be escorted out faster than you can say casual Friday. But fast forward a few years, and what do we see? Tech bros everywhere, running multi-billion-dollar companies in hoodies and flip-flops. The first guy to do it, a revolutionary rebel. The millionth, just another day at the office. Now, let's kick things up a notch and talk about something really crazy. Money. Yes, that thing you slave away for 40+ hours a week. The thing that keeps you up at night. The thing that makes the world go round. What if I told you it's all just a shared delusion? Take gold, for instance. It's shiny, it's pretty, and it's completely useless for anything practical. Yet, for thousands of years, humans have been obsessed with this glittery rock. We've fought wars over it, built empires on it, and used it as the foundation of our entire economic system. But why? What makes gold valuable? Is it rare? Not particularly. Is it useful? Not unless you're into really expensive paperweights. No, the only reason gold has value is because we all collectively agreed that it does. It's the emperor's new clothes of the financial world, and we're all playing along. But hey, at least gold is tangible. You can hold it, you can wear it, you can make hilariously tacky furniture out of it if you're a certain ex-president with questionable taste. But what about paper money? The humble dollar bill. A rectangular piece of paper with some fancy printing and the face of a dead guy on it. Intrinsic value, zero. Actual value, whatever we say it is. It's like we're all playing a giant game of Monopoly, except the consequences are real and the game never ends. Think about it. We wake up every day, go to our jobs, and work our fingers to the bone. And for what? For little pieces of paper that we've all agreed are worth something. It's madness, but it's madness that works, as long as everyone keeps believing in it. And speaking of believing in things, let's talk about the stock market. If you ever want to see collective insanity in action, just watch the trading floor of any major stock exchange. It's like a zoo, where the animals are in charge, and they're all hopped up on cocaine and Red Bull. People buy and sell shares of companies at prices that make absolutely no sense in the real world. A company that's never made a profit can be valued at billions of dollars, while a stable, profitable business can be treated like yesterday's trash. Why? Because enough people believe it should be that way. It's like a giant game of hot potato, except the potato is imaginary and worth millions of dollars. And everyone's trying to guess when the music will stop, hoping they're not the one left holding the spud when it does. But wait, it gets even crazier. Enter Bitcoin. At least with stocks, you're buying a piece of a real company. With Bitcoin, you're buying what exactly? A string of numbers? A concept? The digital equivalent of a tulip bulb? Bitcoin is the ultimate test of the crazy. Is just a numbers game theory. It has no intrinsic value. You can't hold it. You can't use it for anything practical. Its entire worth is based on the idea that other people will want it in the future. It's like a giant global game of greater fool theory. And yet, people have made and lost fortunes on this digital fever dream. Why? Because enough people decided it was valuable. It's like We took the concept of fiat currency, stripped away even the pretense of government backing, and said, do you know what would make this better if we made it even more abstract and volatile? But here's the kicker. As long as enough people believe in Bitcoin, it works. It doesn't matter if it's rational or not. In the land of the financially insane, the man with the biggest digital wallet is king. Now, let's take a sharp left turn and talk about something completely different. Religion, the cause of and solution to so many of life's problems. Think about it. If you went up to someone today and said, hey, I just talked to an all-powerful being who lives in the sky. He told me a bunch of rules we should all live by. You'd probably be fitted for a straitjacket faster than you can say, hallelujah. But if a bunch of people say the same thing, well, then you've got yourself a religion. Let's take a trip back in time, shall we? Picture this, ancient Egypt. A guy stands up and says, you know what? I think the sun is actually a god. And not just any god, but the most important god. We should build massive triangles in the desert to honor it. Crazy, right? But get enough people on board, and suddenly you're building pyramids and worshipping Ra. Or how about the Norse gods? Hey, you know thunder? That's actually a buff dude with a magic hammer riding a chariot pulled by goats. Sounds like the pitch for a really bad superhero movie, doesn't it? But for centuries, people believed it wholeheartedly. And let's not forget the Greek gods, a pantheon of deities who spent most of their time turning into animals and seducing mortals. It's like a divine soap opera. But question it back then, you'd be labeled a heretic, faster than Zeus could turn himself into a swan. But here's the real mind bender. All those religions we now call mythology, they were once as real and as serious to their followers as any modern religion is to its adherents today. The only difference? Numbers. When everyone believed in Zeus, doubting his existence was crazy. Now that hardly anyone does. Believing in him is what's considered crazy. It's a complete flip. And it happened not because the fundamental nature of reality changed, but because people's beliefs changed. It's like a cosmic game of Simon Says, but on a millennia-long time scale. Now, I can hear some of you saying, but wait, my religion is different. It's the true one. And to that, I say, well, that's exactly what the ancient Egyptians thought about Ra, and the Vikings thought about Odin, and the Greeks thought about Zeus. See the pattern? But let's be clear, I'm not here to bash religion. Believe what you want to believe. I'm just pointing out the fascinating phenomenon that what's considered sane or insane in the realm of faith is entirely dependent on how many people subscribe to a particular belief. And it's not just ancient religions. Look at some of the newer ones. Scientology, for example. If one person claimed that humans are actually ancient alien spirits trapped in mortal bodies, and that the path to enlightenment involves using an e-meter to audit your past lives, they'd be laughed out of town. But get enough Hollywood celebrities on board, and suddenly it's a recognized religion with tax-exempt status. Or how about the flying spaghetti monster? Started as a satirical protest against teaching intelligent design in schools, it now has thousands of adherents worldwide. Is it any crazier than believing in an invisible sky daddy? Not really. It's just newer and has fewer followers. The point is, when it comes to religion, sanity is entirely in the eye of the beholder, or more accurately, in the number of beholders. Get enough people to believe something, no matter how outlandish, and it becomes accepted truth. But let's move on to something a bit more explosive: war. Now, if I were to walk up to you on the street and say, hey, I'm going to go kill that guy over there because he looks different from me and I don't like the way he thinks, you'd probably call the police, and rightly so. But what if I put on a uniform first? What if I gather a bunch of other people who look like me, give them all weapons, and then go kill a bunch of people who look different? Well, then it's not murder anymore, it's war. And war, as we all know, is a perfectly acceptable way for nations to settle their differences. It's like a schoolyard fight, but with tanks and cruise missiles instead of fists. And instead of the principal breaking it up, we have the UN issuing strongly worded letters that everyone ignores. Think about it. We take young men and women, train them to kill, send them to foreign lands to do just that, and then act surprised when they come back with severe psychological trauma. It's like we're playing a global game of Call of Duty, except the respawn function doesn't work in real life. But here's the kicker. As long as enough people agree that war is necessary, it's not seen as crazy. It's seen as patriotic, heroic even. The same act that would get you life in prison as an individual gets you medals and parades if you do it en masse. It's a numbers game, pure and simple. One person killing another is murder. Thousands of people killing thousands of other people is foreign policy. The action is the same, but the perception completely different. And let's not even get started on the reasons for war. They have weapons of mass destruction. They don't. We're bringing them democracy. We're not. It's for national security. It's for oil. It's like a global game of Simon Says, but with much higher stakes. But as long as enough people buy into these reasons, as long as enough flags are waved and enough patriotic songs are sung, it's not seen as the madness it truly is. It's seen as necessary, even noble. Now, let's shift gears to something a bit more personal. Gender identity. Strap in, folks, because this is where things get really interesting. For the longest time, we had a nice, simple, binary system. You were either a man or a woman, and that was that. Nice, neat, tidy. But then people started saying, I don't feel like I fit into either of those categories, and all hell broke loose. Now, if one person had stood up and said, actually, I identify as neither male nor female, they'd have been dismissed as attention-seeking or confused. But get enough people saying it, suddenly we're rewriting bathroom laws and adding new options to government forms. And it doesn't stop there. Some people now identify as cats or trees or attack helicopters. Okay, that last one is usually said ironically, but you get the point. Is it crazy? By traditional standards, absolutely. But get enough people on board and suddenly it's a movement. It's progress. It's the new frontier of human rights. Now, I'm not here to judge. If you want to identify as a potted plant, more power to you. I'm just pointing out how quickly something can go from completely bonkers to you're a bigot if you don't accept it, if enough people get on board. It's like we're all playing a giant game of make-believe and the rules keep changing. Yesterday, there were 2 genders. Today, there are 72. Tomorrow, who knows? Maybe we'll all identify as different shades of the color blue. But here's the thing. As long as enough people buy into it, it becomes real. Not in a biological sense, perhaps, but in a social sense. And in many ways, the social reality is the one that impacts our daily lives the most. So what's the takeaway from all this? Is everything we believe in just a shared delusion? Are we all just participating in a giant cosmic game of pretend? Well, kind of, yeah. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. These shared beliefs, these collective agreements about what's real and what's valuable, they're what allow us to function as a society. They're what let us build civilizations, create art, and explore the cosmos. The trick is to recognize it for what it is, to understand that many of our most cherished beliefs and institutions are, at their core, just things we've all agreed to pretend are true. It doesn't make them any less real in a practical sense, but it does give us the power to change them if we choose to. So the next time you see something that seems crazy, ask yourself, is it really crazy? Or is it just not popular enough yet? Because remember, crazy is just a numbers game. Get enough people to believe in something, no matter how outlandish, and it becomes the new normal. And who knows, maybe that guy in the banana costume singing opera isn't crazy after all. Maybe he's just ahead of the curve. Maybe in a few years, we'll all be doing it. And won't you feel silly then, in your boring old regular clothes, not singing aria? So go ahead, embrace the madness, because in a world where reality is just what we collectively agree it is, being a little bit crazy might just be the sanest thing you can do. And there you have it, folks, a whirlwind tour through the funhouse mirror of human behavior and belief. Remember, the line between sanity and madness is a lot thinner than you think. and it's drawn not by logic or reason, but by popular consensus. So the next time someone calls you crazy, just smile and say, maybe, but give it time. Because who knows, in a few years, you might just be the new normal. And with that mind-bending thought, I bid you adieu. Until next time, keep questioning reality, keep embracing the absurd, and above all, keep being just crazy enough to make life interesting.